You low key a trash talker.
Yeah.
What's the favorite bar you dropped on someone in the league? I know Book, you
Mm.
gave him the
Yeah, I was in my feelings though.
full
That book was
time.
busting my ass that day. I was not where I needed to be.
As adults and humans, you don't meet a lot of people with self awareness, especially with these celebrities and athletes. A lot of them don't have self awareness. Like they don't have the ability to reflect and know that something was their fault or something else that affected them, or look at something from like a different point of view. Even when I saw that happen last year, beginning of the season last year, I think it was like the first month or two in the season. It was like the first time they played Phoenix, Golden State. That is, Book was giving Clay the business. I mean, I think he dropped like 35 or like 40 on him. Nothing Clay could do to stop it. I mean, he didn't go to training camp. He came into camp out of shape because he was traumatized from the previous years of the injuries, and he injured his Achilles in training camp trying to ramp up for the season in 2021. So he was getting his legs back under him, and he got caught up in a pissing contest with Devin Booker of all people, a dude that looked up to him and admitted he looked up to him, and just Clay just went off the rails, and you could see it on the court if anybody knows basketball and knows like human behavior. It had nothing to do with Devin Booker. It was KLAY Thompson and his insecurity at the moment about believing in himself and his injuries, not knowing if he can get back to who he was before. And he was just taking it out on Book. And Book just happened to be that dude that day. They caught the bad end of it. So he threw the four fingers up, saying that we got four rings, you ain't got none, and I'm a champion, and blah, 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 blah. But all that was just, it was deflection and it was just bravado because he felt bad about how Book did him on the court. It was nothing he could do to stop it. And it was a young dude that he looked up to that was killing him. But he'll say that.
Yeah. Stuff doesn't age well, and that didn't age well for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be flexing 4 rings, bro. Like,
Yeah, you don't, bro. You're one of the greatest shooters of all time. You're a four-time champ. Everybody know that.
everybody know that. That's on Wikipedia. Like, I
He
just
said it's on Wikipedia.
my game wasn't where I was at, and we all get insecure at times.
Yeah.
I'm not man enough.
Yeah, we all do. And it's good that you was a man and admitted that. Like it was all over your face in that game, bro. He was doing you dirty, and there's nothing you could do to stop it. He was just hot that game, and you wasn't. You're trying to shoot your way into it, but there's nothing you could do about
To admit that I'm man enough to admit that we all have our moments of weakness. I'm not really proud of that one because I see Devin Booker, and I should be like, man, I should be proud of this young man.
Yeah.
Like the work he's put in, he survived it.
it. And Paul George was wrong for that. Just because Paul George got a beef with Devin Booker, he tried to stir it up again, knowing that was a bad spot for KLAY Thompson. KLAY Thompson handled it like a man, yo. KLAY Thompson not pretty much, he did. He handled it like a man should. He admitted, yo, I was wrong for that. I was just insecure at the time. He was wiping the floor with me. There's nothing I could do to stop it. I had an off game, and I took it out on him. It's not a lot of adults that could do that. It's not a lot of parents that could do that. That can admit they were bad parents, and that their children have a right to feel the way they feel towards them because the way they were brought up and the things that they were put through as children. It's a lot of spouses that don't have self awareness like that. They can admit when they did something wrong or they not doing enough or what they did offended somebody else. There's not a lot of friends that have self awareness like that. But to see like an athlete, not to say the athletes are stupid, but most of them have God complexes really. That's why I said it's shocking to see an athlete to admit they were insecure like that. Usually they just see themselves above everybody else.
Tough regime in Phoenix where everyone's getting traded. He's playing for a new coach every year, but
Yeah.
now he's a franchise player because he just kept working. So I admire the guys who have work ethic like that.
Mhm.
But God, I can't even think of a bar, man. You just black, you know how it is. You just black out in the game. I remember when
Yeah.
you and KO got into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much the end of that clip. It was a short clip. Really all I needed was that little minute. But it was amazing to see him be that self aware and just that vulnerable in that moment to speak the actual truth about what that was. Because if you know KLAY Thompson and you know basketball, It had nothing to do with Devin Booker. It was all on Klay Thompson. He was just he was really insecure in that moment, and it all came out. Like Charles Barkley had said some stuff about Klay will never be the same. He was getting ripped apart on social media. People was blaming him for how the Warriors started last year. They was blaming him for how he was shooting. They were saying he should come off the bench. I was one of the people that said he should come off the bench. But all that came to a head in that one moment. He let it all out on Devin Booker. He even tried to fight Devin Booker on the court, which is like weird. He had like a mini meltdown on the court. But yeah, all in all, it was a good example of self awareness and like being vulnerable, but not too vulnerable. Just enough to show people that like we all have insecurities and you could be self aware enough to